everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica and today I have my update for BYOP. This is a project that I've been doing with my friend Dana. We kind of came up with this idea last year. It was submitted as a project idea or a palette idea for 2023 within the Fantastic Ladies collab group. It did not win, though it did go pretty darn far, and we decided we were just going to do it anyway. So we did it all of 2023. We didn't have any like hard and fast rules. You could fill up a palette with the potted shadows, singles, didn't matter. Just kind of build the palette however you wanted and you set your own rules for it. For 2023, it was my year to hit a lot of pans, and that's what my sole focus was. Now that we have gotten to the end of the year and my focus is changing for 2024, I decided that I am going to do a total refresh. And you will notice that this is much later than it normally is in the month. I usually post this on the 3rd. We have posted on the 3rd since January. But I did let Dana know I was going to be posting late because my goal was to try to hit pan in every single shadow that I had in my BYOP. I only had 8 left over after the last update. I just didn't want to add another one in. And so I have 8 shadows that I am going to show you where everything stands. And here it is. Hopefully you guys can see that I have a pan in every single shadow in here. That is why it took me so much longer, because I had just a couple of little holdouts that I wanted to hit pan on. So I have finally done that, and let's go over them. The first one is the Coastal Scents Hot Pot in the shade Lavender. And yeah, this was from January. It has been in that long, and I have finally hit pan on it. Next up, we have a Coastal Scents Mica Pigment. This is in the shade Chameleon Violet Mica Powder. This was absolutely wonderful to wear. I did wear it frequently with lavender, and I had some people tell me that my eyes looked like they were glowing because of some shadows that I was wearing. This is one of them. I probably wore this and hit pan on this for the last time, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago. And this was just one of those I got a ton of compliments on. Though I did have a video recently that I got very similar comments that it looked like my eyeshadow was glowing, and that one was actually Odin's Eye. They're very similar, but they're not exact. But those are the 2 eyeshadows that I've been wearing that, you know, the purples, like the bright purple looks, where they kind of look like they have a life of their own. Those are the 2 shades that I was using. We have yet another Coastal Scents right here. This is another mica pigment. This one is the shade Chrome Carmine Mica Powder. This one was kind of a pain in the butt because it kept crumbling. So I kind of repressed it with like some more binding agent, and it kind of threw everything off. So I had to rework on the area that I was working on. But sadly, it actually changed the color a little bit. So that was kind of disappointing, but I did hit pan on it. So, you know, there is always that. Next, we have the Coastal Scents Hot Pot in a pink mauve. Yet another Coastal Scents Hot Pot. This one is in Venetian red. This one was so much easier to hit pan on than pomegranate red. It is very pigmented, but it's not as bright, so it kind of blended much better for me. My last Coastal Scents Hot Pot that I'm going to show you, everything else is from something else. This is in the shade Coral Blossom. From the ColourPop Hocus Pocus Witching Hour palette, this is the shade Summon Us. That one was really easy to hit pan on. It is a very usable, utilitarian kind of shade. And the very last one, this is from ColourPop as well. This is from the Blush Crush palette, and this is the shade The One. So lots and lots of pans were hit. I am very, very happy about that. I hit 26 pans. 26 pans I hit in this calendar year, just in this project alone. I'm very happy about that. Very, very happy. But now it is time to shift gears, because 2024 is my year to finish things and to reach my $5,000 use-up goal. And I am totally refreshing this palette. I will no longer be using this palette right here. Instead, I have a slightly larger palette, and I have added shadows. We had been keeping it at 9 shadows in this palette, and Dana and I decided we were going to add a few more. I believe she said she's going to do a dozen, which I tried to do that. I swear I tried to do that, but I am like clinically diagnosed OCD, and some of you may have already known that. And I put 12 shadows in this palette. It didn't fill it. It looked awkward to me. I just couldn't have that. So I had to fill it. I had to fill it with lots and lots of eyeshadows so that it was full. And I know some of you are not going to understand my reasoning, and it's just who I am. That's just how I operate. So now I have a magnetic palette here, as you can see, that is completely full. Let's get into all of this. I did not even put them in my spreadsheet yet. I will be doing that here very, very soon. But this is what the new palette looks like, and I am going to be attempting to finish every single one of these. Notice many of them have pan in them already. That actually was from the previous one. I had just hit pan on that one, and I want to continue working on it. I really like the shade a whole lot, so I put it in with this one. All right, let's go over these shades. The first one is actually from the Coastal Scents 88 palette. I frankened some shadows together to get this shade, and I feel like this is going to work well with some shadows that I'm working on in the Panner's pan, and I'm going to attempt to finish it. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 shadows in this particular Franken. I think I did write this one down. This one actually has only 1 full shadow in it from the Coastal Scents 88 palette, but I did put some other things in there to kind of get that grungy green look that I was looking for. The next one, however, is actually 3 shadows from the Coastal Scents 88 palette. I threw a bunch of shadows together to get this nice teal shade. It's kind of like a mid-range teal that I think is going to work with some other shadows that I have in other projects. I just decided that I do want to still work on that Coastal Scents 88 palette without being married to it, so to speak. So I have decided that 2 of these shadows in here are going to be Frankens from that palette. Next up, we have the Pink Mauve that just came out of the other palette. It is such a pretty shade, and I look forward to actually finishing this one. Thank you to everyone that told me how to pronounce Ube. This is from Looksy, and I am so excited to be able to work on this. It is a stunning shade, and I think it is going to work really well with my Pan That palette. The only other Looksy shadow in here is Hot Rod, and I am looking forward to this one as well. This is something that is going to match some shadows that I have coming up in projects very soon, and I think this one is going to get quite the workout. One that you all voted on in my Help Me Decide video, this is the Coastal Scents Hot Pot in Ice Ballet. I love the shade. It has massive, massive pan, and I think this one is going to be a pleasure to finish off in the coming year. This one you saw earlier this year in this particular project. This is Pomegranate Red. It's the difficult red. It is the difficult red, but I am up to the challenge. I really enjoy my reds, and now that this has baby pan on it, I think I am ready to go ahead and use it a lot more for the coming year. The easiest shadow to use in the whole wide world, this is in the shade Cloud White. Massive pan, and it is actually very thin in the pan, so I don't think this is going to take a whole lot to use up. This is one that I will use with shades that are a little bit too vibrant, or if my crease gets a little aggressive, I can kind of use this to tame it down a little bit. So I don't think this one's going to be very hard to use up. Another shadow that you have seen this year in this project, this is Midas Gold. I've got baby pan, and I absolutely love the color of the shadow, so I wanted to put it in here and finish it off in the coming year. This one was also in BYOP earlier in the year. This is Peach Puff. This is one that I have already panned one of in previous years, and I think it's going to be pretty easy to use this one up. That was it for the Coastal Scents Hot Pots. Next, I have a bunch of other stuff that I spent all day pressing, and these are some of the picks from Help Me Decide single eyeshadows. I pressed a bunch of Bare Minerals eyeshadows with some argan oil, rubbing alcohol, and a pressing medium, and the first one is in the shade Cupcake. The reason I'm not swatching is because a bunch of stuff is still wet from pressing it today, and I didn't want to swatch half the stuff and not be able to swatch the other half, but I have learned over the years, if I swatch when shadows or anything is still wet, it will create hard pan, and that is not a battle that I want. Next up is Bare Minerals Puzzle. This one has some micro glitters in it, and I think this one is going to be a lot of fun to wear. This is Bare Minerals Jasmine Tea. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see how that shifts in the camera, but it definitely does have some shiftiness to it, and I cannot wait to wear this. I think that's going to look good with my Coastal Scents 88 Franken. I was working with the pans that I had available to me. That's why this one is not in a round pan. This is Banana Smoothie from Bare Minerals. Yet another Bare Minerals. This is in the shade Heavenly Diamond. Finally, one that is not Bare Minerals that I pressed today. This is from the Profusion Eyes Trendsetter palette. I don't even remember what the name is. I do have it in a spreadsheet somewhere, but this is one of the lone holdouts for that palette. So I thought I'm gonna fit it in here and, you know, get it used up. It is kind of a satiny black. I do have a black one from the same palette in another project, so figured I might as well just put them both in projects and try to get them done. I have another one from Coastal Scents. This is one of their mica pigments. This one is called Foliage Flutter Mica. This one is a really pretty pink shade with an orange shift. I wish I could remember what this one is called. I will probably have it all up on the screen. This is from a Too Faced Rock and Roll palette. I just do not remember what the green shade was called, but I will look it up. And I decided I was going to slightly depot my Hema Be a Natural palette, and I brought in this matte cream, a really, really pale matte cream. And then I also brought in the second shade in that palette, which is a slightly darker matte cream. So they're similar, they're not exact, but I would like to get both of those done. So this is my new BYOP. Lots and lots of shades to work here. I know that this does not look like a cohesive palette, and that is because I am going to be working with not only this, but stuff that I have in other projects, as well as my Pan-That palettes, plural, since I will be doing the theme for the Pantastic Ladies as well as Better Together. So this is kind of like a complement to the shadows that I have within other projects. As of right now, I'm not sure that I'm going to roll anything else in as I use stuff up. I kind of want to just focus on getting these done. If it gets to the point where I really don't have much left in here, I probably will roll stuff in, but that is not going to be my focus for the coming year. This is just going to be, let's get her used up, see how much we can get done, and then go from there. Definitely go check out Dana, since she is co-creator on this with me. There's going to be a link to her Instagram down below. She is only on Instagram right now, though I will keep trying to work on getting her to YouTube because, well, it's so much fun over here. But, you know, that's where she is, so go check her out. There are some other people that had joined in the 2023 version. We'll have to wait and see if anyone else decides to join in. It is open to anyone that wants to join. It's very chill, you know, do your own thing. I know Dana's rules, or what her goals are for the coming year, is very different from mine, as it was for 2023. You do whatever works for you, and, you know, just make it work for your collection. All right, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until I see you on my next video, have a beautiful day.